Yes, it was election night. It was November 8th, 2016. We are now through the storm. And it is November 9th on this Wednesday worldwide broadcast. We are seeing horrible, sore losers. We are seeing Hillary not give her concession last night. We clearly saw massive election fraud in places like California, where we're told Mitt Romney got more votes than Trump. We are seeing the total weaponization of the media to the next level with total psychological wounds on the inheritors of America. Whether they be Hispanic, black, white, it doesn't matter. And it just shows us that our work's just begun. Yes, this is incredibly positive. Trump has been given the trifecta. The Republicans have the House. The Republicans have the Senate. The Republicans have the White House. And now they will have the Supreme Court. That said, if folks will just listen to me, because I live this, I know this, we're going to lay out the enemy's attack plan and how we're going to counter them. But you're witnessing Providence. The globalists are in terror. But the enemy is going to strike back. And now is the time to realize the Republican Party leadership, Paul Ryan, all of them must go. We cannot make a deal with them and now play nice in politics. Trump has to know the media, the Democrats, and the Republican Party are going to come after him even more. We have to get behind him. We have to pray for him. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to remove the criminals at the top of the Justice Department, the FBI, Congress. We have to dig them out, not in a vindictive way. These are shameful people. CNN, MSNBC, all of it is already a husk. They must fall completely. There needs to be prosecutions for racketeering via the emails, organized crime between the media and the White House and Hillary. The crime's all there. Fraud, colluding, bid rigging, influence peddling. I mean, you name it, the entire book they've committed over and over again. Because they're not going to stop. This would be like World War II and just kicking the Nazis out of France and out of Russia. They were months away from atomic weapons. They would have had a nuclear war, an atomic war. You cannot leave them there. We have to go into Berlin and dig them out of their goddamn holes. And excuse me, I don't use the Lord's name in vain. I mean, they are GD devils. And I love God, and I just want to say this. I want to thank Jesus Christ for this providence, and I want to thank God Almighty, the Father, the Holy Spirit, Christ. I want to thank the Trinity for the second chance we've been given. But if we do not repent and seek God's face, and if we don't deliver on real jobs and real prosperity and real love and show everybody what real Western Christian values are, the enemy that poses like they're that is going to end up winning. They have inflicted such wickedness and such hate and such race-baiting garbage into these desperate women and others that are absolutely scared to death because they're not being fulfilled, so they think doubling down on the state will bring them there. We're going to go to break. I'm going to come back and briefly speak to Paul Watson. I'm going to lay out the numbers and what we're facing and how the globalists are planning to counter us. Straight ahead on the other side of this break. But this is Defense Ship 1 in the battle for not just the Republic. I want to have a little victory lap. I'm about to go to Paul Watson, lay out what we're facing, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is historic. Donald Trump is 1776 reborn. We are living it. Obviously, the Trump revolution is powered by you, the InfoWar. You are recognized as the front lines. But can we replay that? Because I want to play a little bit of Stranglehold here because this is some of the music we play around here to get our game face song. Can we cue that back up and play that? We are living in an extremely historic time, to say the least. Everybody knows that. The enemy has always known that the information we cover is historical and is basically a rediscovery of what humans are. The enemy wants to keep us in an artificial system of total control. Now, it's not a power trip. Trump's people listen to me. You listen. And most people are lazy in politics. Most people don't actually try to go research how things work. And their whole system is based on you not knowing how it works. We're here exposing the rabbit tricks. It's like a book you go buy that tells you how they do all those magic tricks. Then you know it's not real. We don't want a system based on magic tricks, based on sorcery, based on the public in a trance. We don't want a system based on delusion. We want a system based on true renaissance. And in the fight for human liberty and the future of this species, the victory last night is one of the greatest in the entire compendium of our human journey. The globalists have now realized that we were asleep as they were strangling us. They thought they'd beaten us. They thought we were conscious of what they were doing in their own delusion. Now, they began to realize that they don't have us in a stranglehold. We've got them in the stranglehold. And we cannot let go until the light goes out of their eyes. We're going to Paul Watson here to get his take on this after working, I know, for 20-plus hours, 30 hours or more without sleeping. But I thought we'd have the Motor City Madman bring us in here. We have a lot of guests, obviously, coming on today. We have Trump's victory speech. We have analysis of Hillary. But most importantly, let me give you the big news. Because all of this is key. And again, I don't say this to be arrogant. I say this because if we don't do these things, we're going to lose. And it just makes me love this republic and love this world and love the good people of it more, that Providence has come again. Lightning has struck the same place again. Everything the founders of this country stood for, their incredible honor and courage and will and vision, is our inheritance no matter what color you are or where you came from if you embrace it. And that's why the enemy wants to pull it down, because they cannot compete with that renaissance that came through Europe, came through the English Isles, and came into our republic. They want to kill it because it is the renaissance, it is competition, it is free will, it is open, true, free societies. Why do you think George Soros calls his group the Open Society? Because it's the opposite of an open society. Everything they tell you is the opposite of what they're doing. They say they're liberal because they're the opposite. They scramble everything. So here's the bottom line. I'm going to lay it out today. They're going to scorched earth in the next 2.5 months they have left. You think opening the borders and bringing people in with cholera and TB and even wet leprosy is bad? They are going to gut everything. They are going to be giving our secrets to the Chinese at a over-the-top rate. They're not going to slowly sell them now. It's going to be wholesale everything. They're going to, just like the UN troops in Haiti, just crapped in the $20 million water supply system just for fun, just to watch the kids die. You go, why do they do it? It's a ritual. It's a spirit. They don't have to organize it. It's the mystery the Bible talks about of evil. It's a broadcast. It's a wavelength they're tuned into. And they want to crap on this country. They want to crap on you because they know, even though you're beaten down, and even though we've been dumbed down, and even though we've been scrambled and turned against each other, there is a spirit of liberty there that they must extinguish at all costs. And if you want to know why we can stand up against the globalist, it's because we have the spirit. And it's the true Christian spirit. And this is all thanks to people praying what you're witnessing. And Trump had better deliver. But they are going to scorched earth. That's why I'm not here celebrating, because we just won a major battle. Now we have to cherish the Republic and God and everything that we have been given that much more. That's why I get tears in my eyes. I used to get them once a year. Now I get them every 5 minutes, because the energy level's so high. The strength is so high. The spirit of good is coming back into the world. They've taken over the churches via the World Council of Churches. We're going to Watson. Admittedly, to teach you it's the end of the world, to teach you we've got to fail, to teach you that everything's going to go bad, that evil runs the show, to steal your birthright from you, and to make you think you already lost. They didn't teach this in the churches until 100 years ago, folks. That's the defeatism. That's the Antichrist spirit. We can turn this around any time, just like Jonah in Nineveh. We have to submit to the evil for it to win. And amazing things are happening. So how are they going to counterstrike? What are they going to do in the last 2.5 months? How are the Republican Party going to try to sabotage him? Because he doesn't really have the trifecta yet. He has the House, has the Senate, about to get the Supreme Court, but they're going to sabotage Trump. They're going to try to kill him now. You can guarantee that Donald Trump now has to say, I've got to go govern and get ready and work behind the scenes and have the light on, you know, till midnight every night, because when he goes out in public, they're going to try to kill him. You can just absolutely guarantee that Trump needs to get his people in place first before he keeps risking his life with the whole daredevil stunt, which he did, because they tried to kill him politically, but they're going to try to kill Trump. They're going to try to further gut the country. They're going to try to torture us like they've done in the UK, threatening everybody. You can't leave the EU or we'll destroy your economy. You saw that with the stock market overnight. Then Trump came out and spoke and boosted it back up. This is a total war, people. So we're in the middle of a full-out war. If we were in a naval battle, let's use another World War II allegory. I hate to pick on the Germans. I mean, I'm part German myself, great folks. Point is, let's say you got the Bismarck out there and you got the Royal Oak and the rest of them and trying to shoot its rudder off. We have just blown up the Bismarck. But there's 8 or 9 other battleships over there, and we got to, oh, we just blew the Bismarck up. We're under attack right now. We have to sink every fricking one of their ships. You understand that? This is an information war. We have to press the attack now like we're losing. Because if you don't have that press attack, you will lose the initiative and inertia. America, it was bleeding to death, and on its deathbed, it now has a chance, is pale, but is trying to get to some soup. So we're not even close to out of this, but if you have the desperation, and you pray, and you take action, and you have honor and strength, and speak out to others, we're truthful, we're loving, we're good, it's clear. We're not race-baiting horrible demons like these people. Then we can defeat them. And it's happening now. Now, Paul Watson, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to skip this break. I'm going to let you go in a few minutes. I know you got a lot of articles to write. A lot's happened. I've kind of thrown that out. I'm going to cover the waterfront here. But we see the sore losers. We see how nasty they are. I understand Trump needed to be conciliatory so the stock market wouldn't completely plunge. But I really think he needs to just press the point that we're going to have to get rid of Paul Ryan. We're going to have to get rid of all the neocons, the rhinos, all of them. Not just because it's the right thing to do, and they're part of this corrupt power structure, but they're not going to ever make a deal with Trump because they were picked of old because they were compromised. They're scum. And so do you agree with me on that statement?
Yeah, completely, Alex. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to stuff his cabinet with people like Paul Ryan, neocons, never Trump people. That's the attack plan that they're going to try and carry forth. And the other angle is, you know, after Brexit, which I said immediately after, yes, enjoy it, celebrate it, but watch out because they're going to try and derail it. They're going to try and dilute it. That's exactly what happened. They took it to the High Court. Now they're trying to water it down. Some people are trying to get it not passed altogether. They're going to try and hamstring Trump. These riots are going to happen. They're already happening last night because, you know, tolerant liberals are so peaceful. They're out rioting. Those riots, that unrest is going to be blamed again on Donald Trump. So you're going to have a series of negative things. Every single negative thing that happens between now and January will be blamed on Donald Trump. That's their next plan of attack. You outlined it in the video, which is on Drudge Report. They're going to say anything that goes wrong in the economy, despite the fact that it was going to happen anyway, is the fault of Donald Trump. So before he even takes office, he's going to have his hands tied behind his back, and that is the battle going forward for us.
Please continue watching.
Yeah, well, the article's up on InfoWars. Basically, there were riots in Portland, there were riots in Oakland, and they're all over Twitter. The death threats against Donald Trump, as you said, have gone through the roof. They're soaring. Somebody, some crazy person who the DNC pays to start violence at Donald Trump rallies, we know that that was exposed. They're going to try and take a pot shot at Donald Trump. We've warned about this all along. It happened. Somebody tried to assassinate Trump at one of his rallies, and now the intensity of that hatred, while they accuse us of being hateful bigots, the intensity of their hatred has been turned up to 11. You're going to see more shenanigans between now and January, and people need to be aware of that.
Continue.
The other aspect, which I was talking about earlier, Alex, is, you know, the media for months has said, oh, this is about a demagogue, this is about one man. It's never been about one man. You saw with Brexit. Brexit wasn't about Boris Johnson. Brexit wasn't about Nigel Farage. It was about a movement. This is about a movement. It's not about a demagogue. It's not about Donald Trump. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, somebody else would have been there at the right place at the right time, because now is the time when this movement is happening across the West. It's happening in Germany. It's happening in France. It's happening in all these other countries. And again, the thing with Trump is it's not about the Republican Party. It's about a movement. It's about reinvigorating the American dream. It's about ultimately saving Western civilization. That was the red line in the sand. Thankfully, we've been spared for a short time longer. And now they're going to try and throw all hell to hamstring him, to tie his hands behind his back before he even gets into the Oval Office. You saw that Hillary speech earlier. You probably caught the end of it. People are all over Twitter saying, oh, how gracious she was, how kind. She literally had this demon, angry, crazed look etched into her face. Sick Bill Clinton was stood behind her, chewing on his tongue again. And she, you know, praised Donald Trump at the start, said, yes, you've won, well done.
And then she did her criminal tell. She said we need to have peaceful transfer of power and not have any violence. That means they're activating it all right now.
Oh, yeah, that shows that she's aware of the fact that these riots are already happening within hours. They didn't even get time to properly organize them. They were burning American flags. They were setting dumpsters on fire. People were injured just a few hours after the vote closed, before we knew the result. So people are all over Twitter. You can go on, search Trump riot, all over Twitter right now, organizing these riots. And again, the media will blame Donald Trump for these riots by Hillary Clinton, bedwetting, whining, toys out of the pram throwing Hillary Clinton supporters who are planning this civil unrest right now. And again, all over Twitter today, oh, this is a win for bigotry. This is a win for hatred. The hashtag is trending, not my president. When these are the most hateful, intolerant, bigoted people imaginable, they're throwing out death threats, not just against Trump, but against Trump supporters. They've been to his rallies to cause this violence. They're causing it once again. These are the intolerant, regressive bigots
and
that we're trying to consign to the ashes of history. Absolutely.
We go out in Austin, and they'll have people run over and scream, Trump hates LGBT. He wants to send blacks back to Africa. And it's mainly white women. And they begin shrieking and crying and freaking out. And they're literally like in this big pity party mental illness that isn't even real. All Donald Trump wants is to secure the borders and get rid of taxes for people that make $40,000 a year or less and turbocharge the economy and just bring back Americana. Instead, we have all these globalist criminals that have hijacked the nation. They control the economy. They've got all these dumbass minions who have no idea that they're basically plantation slaves. I don't care what color they are. It is really something to behold, Paul.
And then you've got their mouthpieces in the media like Van Jones, and I played the clip earlier. He got up on CNN. He said Donald Trump won because there are a lot of racists and bigots who voted for him. He called it a white lash, as in a racist backlash against
Which again
President
says you
Obama.
can't have guns, you can't have low taxes if you have brown skin. It's literally telling all these people you can't have the American dream that's 1,000 times better than North Korea or Venezuela. And it's so condescending when we know record numbers of blacks voted for Trump, record numbers of Hispanics, record numbers in the Republican primaries as well. But again, he makes it racial. And here's the good news. People are seeing through it. And that's the number one thing I want to say. I don't care if you're a wealthy black family that owns a business and you end up seeing usually they hire mainly black folks. Okay, I get it. They need jobs. But you need to hire some white folks, especially with all this stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of poor white people, despite what Bernie Sanders says. White people don't know what it's like to be poor. Literal quote. But if you are a business person, they've created political correctness to make us all feel uncomfortable around each other. We have to not do the fake PR, PC garbage. We have to really go out and find everybody and be inclusive because there's great folks of every color. Bring them in and actually everybody have a real culture and a real society. You go into leftist compounds, it's almost all white people. They're very racist. They're very paranoid. They're scared of everything. They're basically OCD latchkey kids, okay, that are in their own delusional world. And then we have liberal media come here and they go, my God, it's like half the folks here aren't white. It's like, yeah, that's because we just hire folks that do a good job. And so, again, they are everything they say we are. But now, as Trump has said, we have to double down. We have to support not fake affirmative action that's race-based, but we have to support Trump and his ideas for tax incentives for inner cities and tax cuts specifically, because that's people's own money. It's not taking somebody else's money and giving it to them. It's letting folks that have been put at a disadvantage have an advantage of keeping more of their own money. We have to be the real liberals. I think Paul's Skype cut out. I wanted him to have a final comment, so maybe reconnect with him. But there's so many points to go over, so many angles. I want to thank the audience, though, and we should have some celebration. Just my head's spinning with there's so many angles to this, and obviously I'm exhausted. Had about 3 hours sleep last night. We are on the cusp of history. We're at the crossroads. We have begun to go down the right road. The enemy is going to try to pull us back with everything they've got. And that's why I'm focused now on the next level of the war completely, because right now we've got the giant audience. Right now we've got 5 times what regularly tune in, okay? Obama now comes out and says we're now all rooting for Trump's success. This is going to be the good cop, bad cop deal. Start the riots, turn up all the race baiting, times 1,000, but then have the conciliatory Trump olive branch that if you do what we say now, Trump, you put a bunch of globalists in your cabinet and you submit to the New World Order and you let the rhino Republicans, run things, then we might leave you alone. So sell out. And so they're offering that, knowing he won't take it, but to look like they tried to give him a chance from one perspective. So Obama's now speaking good cop, bad cop, saying we should all root for Trump's success, which means they're definitely going to activate Black Lives Matter and groups to kill cops and burn stuff down. So I'm telling you, they have to look like they push for freedom. They're the folks that want everybody to come together. Meanwhile, they're activating their operations right now, Paul.
No, I mean, that's the point. And going back to the Van Jones thing, he got up and said that basically it was a white lash. It was a racist backlash against Obama because they hate Obama because he's black. These people in Ohio, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, they voted for Obama in 2008 and in 2012. How can you claim that Trump support is all racist people who hate Obama because he's black when those very same people in those states voted for Obama? I mean, it's just a completely debunked argument at this point. Then you've got the other angle, which is, of course, Michael Moore. He was the only leftist who had the smarts for a second to look in the mirror and realize that these people in Michigan and Wisconsin were voting on the fact that globalism has destroyed their livelihoods completely. Nothing whatsoever to do with race. It's to do with NAFTA. It's to do with the factories shutting down. It's to do with their jobs being shipped abroad. That's why Donald Trump won those states. It has nothing whatsoever to do with racism.
Paul, predictions.
Predictions going forward. They're already organizing riots tonight. It's going to be a very unstable time. again, as I said, right after Brexit, and this still holds. I'm going to have to get back on the Brexit argument next week because they're trying to derail and dilute that. You have to push this forward. Paul Ryan's got no place in the future Trump administration. Again, you have to prevent him from stuffing his cabinet with neocons. And basically, Trump is not a demagogue. He's about a movement. He's a symbol of a movement. We're not investing everything into Trump, but we're going to hold his feet to the fire. Notice the reaction of Trump supporters compared to Obama supporters in 2008. They were all glazed-eyed, cult-like, adoring their New Deal leader. Trump supporters are excited, they're happy, they're partying, but they know that this is just the beginning of the mission to save America, to save Western civilization.
I totally agree. And let me just say this, Paul. You've been working with me for 15-plus years. I guess you were about 18 when you came to InfoWars. And I salute your work, your tireless dedication, and it is a true honor to be associated with you and in this one life we have. And you're a real friend and a brother, and I love you, Paul.
I love you too, Alex, and it's been an absolutely crazy journey. And the madman has done it, but again, it's only the beginning. And who knew that the horribly discredited InfoWars' association with Trump, the media, CNN said that's inevitably going to drag him down, right? He's going to lose. Well, look what happened.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You gonna sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you gonna be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.